Ever stared at a restaurant menu with 100 options and suddenly felt your mind freeze? Or spent weeks, even months, agonizing over career paths, relationships, or life decisions, despite having more opportunities than any generation before you? If that sounds familiar, you're not broken. You're experiencing something deeply modern, the paradox of choice. We're taught from a young age that freedom is the ultimate goal. More options mean more control. More possibilities mean more happiness. But what if that belief is quietly making us miserable? Today, we're unraveling why an abundance of choice can actually become a psychological burden, and how unexpected freedom may lie not in limitless options, but in carefully chosen constraints. Let's start with the illusion of limitless freedom. In theory, modern life is a paradise of choice. We can stream thousands of movies, order food from any cuisine imaginable, work remotely, change careers, reinvent ourselves endlessly. Yet, instead of feeling empowered, many of us feel anxious, exhausted, and stuck. Why? Because the human brain did not evolve for infinite possibility. Every choice, no matter how small, costs mental energy. What to wear, what to eat, which email to answer first, which opportunity to pursue. When options multiply, decisions don't feel liberating, they feel heavy. This is where decision fatigue enters the picture. When we're forced to make too many decisions, our cognitive resources drain. Simple choices become exhausting, and eventually, we avoid choosing at all. That's why you can spend 40 minutes scrolling through a streaming service only to watch nothing. But overload doesn't stop there. With every choice comes opportunity cost, the haunting idea that by choosing one thing, you're losing out on something better. What if the other option was the right one? What if I made the wrong call? Ironically, the more options we have, the more regret we feel, even after making a good decision. Unlimited choice amplifies self-blame. If everything was possible, then any disappointment feels like a personal failure. And this effect is magnified by comparison. Social media constantly presents us with curated lives, perfect decisions, optimal paths. Someone chose better. Someone figured it out faster. Someone seems happier. Suddenly, our own choices don't feel enough. We're no longer deciding based on our values. We're deciding based on how our decisions might look. This creates what psychologists call the tyranny of comparison, the endless race to choose perfectly. But here's the counterintuitive truth. Constraints don't restrict freedom, they often create it. When options are limited, the brain relaxes, creativity increases, satisfaction deepens. Think about it. A blank page is intimidating, but a page with clear rules invites creation. When you remove endless alternatives, you remove constant doubt. This is why some of the happiest people aren't those with unlimited freedom, but those who know what they don't want to choose. They embrace boundaries. They use decision heuristics, simple rules like, this is good enough. I don't need to optimize everything. I choose once and move on. And perhaps most powerful of all, they automate or pre-commit where possible. The same meals, the same routines, the same systems, not because they lack imagination, but because they protect mental space for what truly matters. This is the real freedom, not the freedom to choose everything, but the freedom to choose what not to choose. So if modern life feels overwhelming, the solution isn't more options, it's fewer, chosen intentionally. Because sometimes the narrow path isn't a limitation, it's a relief.